My name is Jack, and I work as the studio manager at WEAR TV. Most days I come in about 9 o'clock, and that's so that I can touch base with my morning crew, because many of them come in at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So any issues that they've had during the morning shows, we'll go ahead and take care of those when I first get in. And then sometimes I will help them out on our midday show. I may be doing some pre-production work for them, building graphics, fixing equipment, or getting equipment fixed by the engineering staff, troubleshooting other issues. If they don't have anything pressing going on, then I'll generally check my email, make sure there aren't any other things that happened overnight when I was gone, and then deal with those things. I may have some sort of a manager's meeting to go to on any particular given day. Or I may be working on some special project or something. Right around lunchtime, I'll take lunch, and then in the afternoon, after I get back, I'll work on other productions or whatnot. During the middle of the day, we generally don't have a whole lot of people here, so that's when I get a lot of maintenance and little things done. For instance, working on our graphics databases and cleaning out old stuff, making new stuff, that sort of thing. About 2:30 in the afternoon, my evening crew comes in, and we touch base with them. They let me know about any issues they had the previous night and anything that's going on that evening. We get them squared away. I'll help them same way as the morning crew. If there's any equipment issues, if there's anything special that needs to be done, I'll do that. I may be working with the producers in the newsroom with some of those things. If they need special graphics for a story, or if we're doing something out of the ordinary, they often call me in to do that. A lot of the routine things the other people on my staff handle, but they usually come to me for the things that are not routine or a little bit out of the ordinary, take a little special attention. And then I stay through the 4 and 5 o'clock shows. I generally leave around 6 o'clock. Occasionally, depending on staffing, I may fill in for somebody in a position. I may run a studio camera, I might run audio, I might direct a show. It just depends on where we are. I try not to do that too often, because I'm usually more valuable as a kind of free body during the show. So if anything is going wrong, I'm not tied to a particular position, and I can run and help out with whatever. And then I go home to my wife. As far as education for the job, there isn't anything specifically spelled out. I came to this job with a love of audio and video production to begin with, all the way up through elementary, middle, high school. I was interested in that sort of thing. I did, in fact, get a degree in communication arts in college, and those are the sorts of things that people will put as maybe recommended when you're applying for a job in our business, but they're not necessarily required. There's not specifically a major in studio managing, but just knowing your way around the television station and how things work and that sort of thing is important. The one piece of training that is very valuable that I didn't necessarily have and kind of learned on the job was people management, because I have a crew of 15 people that I have to schedule and manage and take care of their personal issues and their work issues, and making sure they all get along and making sure they can all be trained and do their jobs. And that's a skill that was never covered in anything I did in school about television production. So I kind of had to figure that one out on my own. The best part of the job is that there's never a dull moment. There's always something going on around the station. We're often witnesses to history. We get to meet famous people, some important people, and that's just a daily thing. You never know when it's going to happen necessarily, but it does happen all the time, and that's kind of fun. The worst part of the job is it's 24/7, 365 days a year. There's always somebody here working on newscasts. And it's an insatiable beast. We have to feed that thing all the time, and so constantly you're here. And that means that you work maybe early mornings, late at night, holidays, weekends, we're here. If there's a hurricane or any kind of other natural disaster situation, we're here even more. And you're away from your families for a lot of that sort of thing. So that's one of the real drawbacks to being in the television business. As far as advice for somebody who wants to get into the studio manager position or any kind of a television production management or oversight position, my first piece of advice would be to think really long and hard about, is this really what you want to do? I mean, you really need to love working in media and working the strange hours and not being a 9-to-5 kind of person. The number two thing is you need to think about how important money is to you, because we're not getting rich doing this. Some of the people that are on the air get paid pretty well, and some of the sales staff people get paid pretty well. But the folks that are behind the scenes and the technical side and whatnot aren't making a whole lot of money. You can make a living and you can be comfortable, but you're not going to have the fanciest car and the nicest house and that sort of thing. And then the number three thing I would say is you want to think really hard about whether or not these kinds of jobs are going to be that available, because as the media has changed in the last decade or so, more and more things are automated, more and more things are handled through computer systems and whatnot, and not as much with specialized television equipment, which allows more people to be able to do the sorts of things we do at television stations. But the jobs for those people in the industry are shrinking. There are fewer and fewer of them as more things are automated. So that's another thing you want to think about. However, if you just love this, if you love producing television, you love making video, you love working with audio and electronics and computers and all of that sort of thing, it can be a very rewarding career.